Hi, everyone. It's Coach Mo Faul. I'm here for another wonderful installment of Motivational Monday. And here we are at another Monday, ready to start the week off strong and start it off with a new sense of vim and vigor and vitality, ready to change things once and for all. I wanted to talk today about a topic that is the undercurrent of all of our lives. It is the undercurrent of everything that is in our world, and everything that is in our world as individual people. We have our world hanging out, a feedback mechanism, a world of somewhat predictability for most of us. And I'm going to talk about why that is. Why is your world pretty predictable, even though you really would prefer to have a little bit more variety or a little bit more of interesting things going on? And how is it that we get so stuck in things? And why is moving out of the predictableness of what we have crafted for our world, why is that so difficult? So I'm going to tackle some of those topics, and I'm going to perhaps dive deeper into a topic that a lot of folks I talk to and a lot of women I coach know a little bit about. So many of the people around the planet have seen the movie called The Secret that was out, 15 years or so ago. And that was the first real kind of popular version of what is called the law of attraction. And there's many different definitions, and there's many different ways of understanding the law of attraction. But I want to give you a few simple concepts to help you understand how your life, how our lives are created by us. I mean, there's no better way to say it than that. So I'm going to break this whole law of attraction thing down into manageable pieces. Those of you who are my clients have heard a lot of these things before, and hopefully this will be a fantastic reinforcement. I got to say something also about that. We are physical human beings. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? We're physical beings having an experience in this world that we think is physical. We're touching ourselves. We're smelling, seeing, hearing. We're moving things from one place to another. We're driving cars, we're brushing our teeth, we have to eat when we're hungry. 99% of our conscious brain is focused on our sensing, what we're picking up from our sensing world, what we're seeing with our eyes, what we're hearing with our ears, what we're tasting, what we're smelling, what we're touching. So much of that influences who we are and what we do. But here's the thing. That's just a small part of who you are. It seems like the biggest part. It does, granted, but it is not the biggest part. You're an energy being. You're a soulful, spiritual, energetic makeup of a bunch of atoms. I think there's actually 1 trillion cells in your body. 1 trillion. And there are atomic structures and microorganisms in all of those trillion cells. And in each of those, there's a nucleus and electrons and protons and other subatomic particles swirling around at a speed that's so rapid that with the human eye, you can't really tell. And it feels like it's a big clump of skin and shirts and glasses and hair. But what's going on, if you really go into it, is it's a swirling soup of atomic motion. Just like our planet is spinning at such a fast speed, we can't even really contemplate how fast the Earth is spinning and how fast it has to move to keep spinning and circling the sun once a year. Makes that humongous rotation. And it's spinning at the same time. There's a lot of action going on. And in the between space of the Earth spinning and circling the sun, there's a lot of air. It's another quantum area of space that there are other molecules doing their thing. So guess what? So much of your life is you being the cause of moving all of those molecules. Now, there's a lot of things that go on without your thinking about it. There's a lot of things that are going on beneath the surface. You don't have to think about your heart beating or your food digesting or your blood cells being made or your liver working or your kidneys taking care of the blood that eventually filters out and turns into urine. You don't have to think about that. There's so much going on in this factory, but there's also so much going on in your energy world as well. The energy world of you is predominated by your thought, feeling, energy. And it's like your thoughts are electrical impulses and your feelings are like magnetic impulses. You're literally magnetizing what you think and feel into your life. And you're creating the ripple current in this energetic soup. So if you could imagine me in my space between the computer screen and maybe even where you're living in your hometown and my hometown, all of that space is filled with atomic particles and energy vibrations. It's waves and particles of energy just coursing through and doing its thing. And so because of that, we are connected. We are, because my energy of my cells and my energy body is part of the soup. And I'm a dense matter. And between me and my chair over there or me and the counter over there is not dense matter. It's just, it's air. It's not a physical object. It is atomic. Hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, oxygen. There's atomic particles and there's waves that carry those atomic particles. We don't have to think for even a second. If our cell phone works, we just pick it up and we dial a number, and that cell signal travels on that same exact energetic space. We don't have to think about that energetic space at all. And we don't have to think, how does that cell phone work exactly? How does that me dialing and a signal coming out of my phone and it going to a phone across the country, across the world, how does that work? Like, we don't have to think about that. We just know it works. And we know that my water bottle here that has nice water, let me take a sip. If I drop this, gravity is going to force it to fall to the lowest part. It's going to be the floor, or maybe it would be my table. There are forces in the universe that are undeniably there, even though we don't see them. I don't see gravity, but I know it exists. I don't see the waves that the cell phones travel on, but I know it exists. I don't see electricity, but I know it exists. There are so many things that I don't see, and I believe that they work because I have evidence to it. And so I want you to maybe think for a minute, suspend disbelief if you must, but that your thought, feeling, energy actually travels and has as much influence in this same particle wave universe that we live in that your cell phone does. It does. I'm sure all of us have had the situation where we're thinking about an old friend and then they call us, or sometimes maybe they would Facebook message you like, oh, just thinking about you. I had a wonderful, wonderful treat of meeting some of my clients up in Chicago weekend before last. And I was thinking about one of them who lives in Milwaukee. And we were at the break of this conference that we were all going to, Abraham Hicks, if you're a follower. And I'm thinking, where is she? I wonder if she was going to come. So that first break, I'm thinking about where is she? And I look up and there she is with her husband. Right there. I just was thinking about her and boom, right there in front of me. Like in front of me. Not in the back of the room. Not somewhere where I couldn't see her. Literally right there. And so what happened first? She got in front of me. I maybe sensed that she was there. My higher self, my intuitive capacity, the thing that's connected to the unified field, felt that, knew that. I thought of her. What happened first? The chicken or the egg? And we know that the chicken has to happen before the egg. So what I know for sure is that the law of the universe means that what I predominantly think and feel is going to be the attractor pattern of my life. If I feel so much that people are generous and helpful and just absolute loves, that's what I'm going to experience. If I've been hurt deeply, if I've been traumatized by a boss, if I've been put down for wanting a promotion and not given it, if I've been told no on raises over and over again, I'm going to have a deep wound of being shamed and pushed down and feel bad about myself. I'm going to have that attractor pattern. So it's likely following me wherever I go. That attractor pattern of feeling bad about asking for something, of feeling bad about not getting what's due to me, about feeling bad about myself, is going to follow me, and I'm going to attract other circumstances that are going to look and feel like that. That's what happens in the attractor universe in which we all live. And you don't have to even know about it. You don't have to agree. But you're participating in it whether you like it or not. Your thought, feeling, energy is going out in a ripple effect to the world around you. And it is creating an effect that comes back to you. It may not be a direct boomerang linear situation that your brain can kind of like contemplate, because it's more multidimensional than that. It's more complex. It's not as this and that. So, okay, Donna. Right. So Donna has an interview coming up on Thursday. Awesome. So we can play with this, Donna, and we can absolutely, I like thinking I'm a powerful manifestor to have created all of it. I know. Isn't that great? So here we are in this exact slice of the time-space matrix of the world. All of these wonderful things have happened to create the world. Amphibians and mammals and humans and MRI machines and automobiles, things that never existed before. Or did they? There's a lot of quantum physicists who believe that every potential exists at the same time, and we're just living in one potential. That's kind of a cool thought. That's going to like brain explosion time. So if we're living in one potential, we can then just live in another potential. And we can craft what that new potential might be. Here's the thing. You've had decades of thinking and feeling the way that you think and feel. Decades. And so many of us are programmed and conditioned from our childhood to think and feel certain things about who we are and how the world is. We've been literally told, programmed, deep programming of how the world is and who we are. So we have two massive belief systems that we're sending thought, feeling, energy emitting from every single second of our lives. Every single heartbeat, there's a thought, feeling, energy that's pulsing out from us based on that kind of like thumbprint of what we think about ourselves and feel about ourselves and what we think and feel about the world. We're always emitting that signature into the unified field of energy that we live in. It first comes from us. Our beingness is emitting this electrical pulse. If you can imagine that all of us are like these spheres of energy, and they're basically pulsing and sending out a color or a character of thought, feeling, energy. and we're receiving the things that look and feel like that. So if we're pulsing out green, as an example, we're attracting more of that green. And if green is, I feel horrible about myself, I'm no good at my work, I don't value myself, if that's what we're putting out there because we've had decades and decades of that experience, and maybe we were taught that or told that as a 4-year-old girl when we didn't do well in preschool, or maybe we did something wrong like bite a kid in nursery school, and maybe we were scolded so hard that we felt worthless and that we could never do anything right, and that's like ingrained in us. All of these things program the emission of our thought, feeling, energy. It's deep. It's deep, and it's also current. So if you have a boss who responds to you negatively about something, you have this current of energy that is recent, and it might push the trigger of everything that reminds you of that all the way back to when you were 3 or 4 years old. It's a big piece of energy. It's a big strand. And that strand can't help but to attract other strands like it. That's the quantum world. The quantum world is different than the physical world. The physical world magnetize opposites attract magnets in the physical world. In the quantum world, like attracts like. So you're going to come across other characters in this quantum field that think and feel in a similar pattern of what you're emitting. I mean, that's the good news and the bad news. So the bad news part is if you think poorly of yourself, if you're carrying around a trauma pattern, if you are getting banged up around in your career over the last 10, 15 years, the last year, the last 2, if you've been recently laid off or whatever, if you've been underemployed for so many years and making less money and you know it and you feel like crap over it, that's what you're going to be attracting. And you're going to have desperate energy around wanting to get out of that unless you heal and correct for the energetic, pulsing, thought, feeling energy. And once you correct for that, you're going to then be able to have a more positive attractor pattern that's going to feel better, and it's going to start moving you toward the things that are positive for yourself and positive for the world. I know that sounds like, oh, okay, well then I'll just increase my attractor pattern and start feeling better about myself. Okay, that's great. Here's the thing. It's kind of deep in there. So you got to shine that flashlight way deep inside. And you got to do some really, really deep, good work on your thought, feeling, energy. And you've got to allow yourself the time and space to pick yourself back up through those things. As we're going through getting our soul shined up and turning the volume of that up, as you go through shining from the inside up, it's going to hit your junk. And how do you shine back up? Meditation. Practicing positive thoughts, I call them gratitudes, and positive thoughts about how awesome you are, brags. If you're a client of mine, you know this is the 10-10-10 ritual. When you meditate, you shut the feelings of new thoughts down. You actually stop the brain from creating new thoughts. I mean, it takes a while to do this for meditating, but once you get the hang of it, you're basically shutting new thoughts down. And you're allowing yourself to feel what's in there and to come together with the divine quantum field. And now you're in your non-physical state, and you're then able to lift your soul's vibration up by being in the non-physical state instead of in the physical state where your brain is churning out thoughts, which keep turning into thought, feeling, energy. So you want to calm the brain down. You want to calm the body down, and it happens in reverse order. Actually, your body calms down first. That's the breath. And then once you get into a breath calming state, your brain can calm down. Neurotransmitters change. I could probably spend a year teaching all of these things, so I'm going through it quite quickly. So when you meditate, you're calming your body down first. Your nervous system is calming down. And that sends different neurotransmitters through your body, different chemicals, and that changes the composition of what your brain is wiring and firing for, which then changes your thought, feeling, energy. That's how it works. So when you calm your body down through breath, in your diaphragm, actually, because the diaphragm actually has a nerve that sends signals to the brain to calm down. Again, if you're my client, we go through this a lot. And that nerve sends impulses to the brain to change. And once you practice that, you now can do that. And then when your brain starts to change, you stop re-energizing the thought, feeling habits that have got you where you are. So if you're one of my clients, you have access to all of this in your kick-ass course modules. You have access to all of it through the coaching that you got in the workshop. We taught you how to meditate. We taught you how to center yourself. We taught you how to be in that space and how to have a daily ritual so that you can continue to practice every single day, getting into a space of thought, feeling, energy that is more empowering versus disempowering. If you get out of bed and the first thought you have is, oh God, another day, you know exactly where your thought, feeling, energy is, because if it's the first thing you think about when you wake up, you know it's your dominant thought, feeling, energy. So you have to do work to change that thought, feeling, energy, or you're going to have an attractor pattern all day long to that, ugh, another day. And your self-worth and what you're putting out there is going to continue to re-energize those thoughts and those feelings, and you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck in a rut of people not respecting you, people treating you poorly, of you talking about yourself poorly, internal. Your thought, feeling, emitting energy is the dominant attractor pattern for you. My thought, feeling, energy is the dominant attractor pattern for me. And I am attracting experiences and people and places and things on my dominant attractor pattern. I know when people I talk to on the clarity calls have significant traumatic events, have job layoffs, fired, or they quit, or they have car accidents, or some type of disease or break, or something like that. There's something going on. I recently broke my foot. Ah, coach, what happened? What's up with that? Why did you break your foot? Well, I was going through a massive expansion of me personally, of my business, and of my thoughts about who I am as a coach and the change that I have offered into the world. It's going through a massive expansion about that and really getting myself in sync with who I am as a contributor in the world and who I am as an influencer in the world. And through that expansion, I was having some self-doubt or some, ooh, am I really? Is that possible? 520 people? Wow, that's a lot of lives moving in the right direction. Now, we didn't get all of them as moved up as others, but if you paid attention in the workshop, you 520 plus people, you got a lot of lift compared to where you had spent your decades earlier. So in 12 weeks, we do a lot of massive work and massive shifting and changing. And the women who really commit themselves to the process and really dive in and really change what's going on inside, really get that soul revved back up and handle the junk that it's going to hit, those women make incredible, incredible strides. Nice to see you, Debbie Grant, and also Donna, and I think Paula was here as well. Nice to see you, ladies. Sherelle, nice to see you. So that magic of going internal every day, that magic begins to shift everything in you. And I wish I could flick a switch and in 12 weeks change the previous 50 decades that you've lived your life. We get a lot of headway in 12 weeks. But if you're like me, there's things that keep coming up. I've been doing this work for almost 30 years. And I still have stuff, junk, deeper stuff that comes up and that I get to handle. I get to handle it. I get to clear up my consciousness and my energy being. And the only way I'm going to serve my clients and serve my audience and serve you all who are on Motivational Monday is by becoming a higher version of myself and increasing my soul's energy in its purest form. And that means that everything that it hits as I'm increasing my vibrational state, if it hits me feeling insecure, I'm going to have to deal with that insecurity. If it hits me feeling guilty that I talked negatively to one of my high school basketball teammates, it's going to hit that stuff. And I know that that sounds sort of petty, but everything that has had an emotional imprint in our lives, positive and negative, is in our energy body. And even the positive things can have a negative ripple effect when we have been on a high and then let down. We could actually turn that meaning of being let down into something negative. So those highs are negative. Whoa, I don't want that. I don't want that high. You know, I could be let down again. So all of this mental thought, feeling, energy is stored inside. No wonder so many people are walking around heavy and stuck and joyless. No wonder. But there are techniques and things that you can do to lighten your load. But so many people are so focused on the physical world, repeating the same thing over and over and not getting anywhere. Or they're in such fear, oh, that can't be true, that I could actually be happy. They're in such fear of believing it that they choose not to. They look the other way. No, I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be awesome. No, that's not possible. My parents told me I'm not awesome, so I'm not awesome. I'm going to stick with my boss treating me a little crappy. I'm going to stick with working 50-hour weeks and working my ass off and being paid too little, because that resonates more with who I know myself to be. And if that's you, we got a program for you because there's so many women on this planet who are absolutely underpaid, underappreciated, overworked, exhausted, depleted, and absolutely wiped out, and their soul is shining hardly noticeable. See these slats in this window? So some people's soul doesn't even shine as much as right coming through here. This is what I do. I help open up those slats. What? And then if they're open that bright, it's like, wait, no. Close that. It's too bright. Too bright. Don't want to see all that. But you're awesome. No. I am not. I am not awesome. No, I've never been told that. I'm never going to be awesome. I've got an MBA and all kinds of experience, and I'm like the most caring person in my family, but I'm not awesome. Don't make me see that. It's the blinding light from within that sometimes stops people from going for it. I see this all the time. If you book a clarity call, I don't want to scare you, but if you book a clarity call with me and my team, we're going to help you see what's not going well, and we're going to help you see what could be going well. Debbie Grant, I am awesome every day. I repeat this mantra, awesome, really good. It becomes believable. It becomes believable when you have consistent action at your soul level to bring that in. If you say I'm awesome over top of your junk, it doesn't really work. This is why so many people think that the law of attraction doesn't work for them, because they're saying affirmations or powerful statements on top of their junk. And it's their junk that's emitting the thought, feeling, energy. It's the stuff that's in there that you're not looking at that's going to cause a life of unwanted results. You know you want something more. You know you want something better. You know you want a job paying 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or $60,000 more. You know that that's what your peers are making. You know if you change companies, that's what people over there are making. You know that your boss has been like the least champion for you, and you're just stalled out and you're waiting for, what are you waiting for? And this whole thing looks like it's supposed to work differently and work better, and it just doesn't. And after a while, your attractor pattern is so down in the dumps and so negative that it just keeps replaying and repeating itself. So many people I've talked to on my clarity calls, they've had 3 or 4 episodes of having the same boss, different name, different organization, but it's like the same thing over and over again. It's no surprise to me, because when I see what's going on and when I see the pattern, I know exactly what you're thinking and feeling about yourself. It's like an MRI machine. So once we can get a handle on what you're thinking and feeling about yourself, which is causing the results in the world, we can begin to understand how to fix it. And all the women who I've helped, all the hundreds of women I've helped, have a bigger vision of what they know is possible for themselves. Their soul is peeking through these slats. Their soul is like, hey, I know I'm in there. I know I'm in there. And then it gets shut down and then open. Yes, that's what I can do. Yes, that feels great. Yeah, nope. I know I can have a great job. I know I can be awesome. I know I can make more money. Ah! And listen, I can't give you education, expertise, or experience. So if those are your problems, I can't help you. But for 90% of the women we talk to on the clarity calls, they have the education, the expertise, and the experience. What they also have is an attractor pattern that has sucked them dry, depleted them, and caused them to be paid a lot less than they deserve in the marketplace. But no one taught them anything different, and no one showed them the way that the road could be different if they change how they think and feel about themselves and the world. So if you're telling me that ageism is your problem, the world out there, they discriminate against people who are my age. I hear this from people who are 40. I'm 40. I'm being discriminated against. Really? Okay. I'm 45. I'm 50. I'm 53. I'm 55. I'm 65. You might be discriminated against because of your age, but I'm going to guarantee you something. If you think that way, you are absolutely being discriminated against because of your age. You also could be acting a certain way that is making people feel that you have contracted and you have become a smaller version of you, and you're cynical, or perhaps you're just downtrodden for all those years. So you're actually thinking and feeling in an emitting pattern that the brain translates from others as, she's too old. Yeah, I just didn't like her. I mean, she had the right experience and everything, but I don't know. And that I don't know means that you've got a negative pattern that's been showing up, and they can't really quite figure out why they don't totally love you. But I'm going to tell you why it is. Because you don't have an emitting energy that feels good from inside. So if you're not emitting feeling good thought, feeling energy, people don't want to hire you. Do you want to hire someone who feels negative? Even if they're saying all the right things, but negative is under here, you can tell. You can tell. So ladies, those of you who are interviewing, you got to get clear and congruent on being awesome, on being valuable, on being valued. You've got to get totally congruent with that, because if you're talking all the good stuff, but under here, you're negative. I hope they hire me. I hope they don't see how like I'm downtrodden and depleted. I hope this job is better than the last one, because that's really been sucking. If you're showing up for an interview where you're talking one thing and you're feeling another, they're going to respond to the feeling state, not to the talking state. Yeah, she had all the right answers and everything, but I don't know, just something about her. Don't know. Yeah. Don't be that person. So you've got to do some work in order to change your attractor pattern, because what are you attracting? Look at your life. Look at your world. I'm not shaming you. I'm just being your coach. Because if your life does not have what you want in it, there's something going on within you that you've not gotten congruent with and clear about, and you've not opened those channels to release the stuff that's holding you back. The thought, feeling, energy that is causing that attractor pattern of negative whatever outcome has to get dealt with. The best way to deal with it, first of all, is to have professional guidance to move through it, meditate, to allow it to come up, and whatever professional techniques, guidance, etc., that's going to help you navigate that. In the work that my team, my coaching team, and I do, we help women navigate a lot of these things. Now, there's things that might need additional therapy or coaching or something like that, and we see this from time to time. But a normal, kind of human being out there with career that's not working, there's some things that can be solved and taken care of that we do that will then allow a different result. So let me just look at some of the comments here. Mo can help clear up the junk. Actually, what I'm going to do is give you tools to clear up your junk. Handling the junk for incredible stride. Definitely got a lift during the program. Thanks, Paula. Yeah, me too. I'm expanding as well. Yes, and doubt does come up. Yes, absolutely. So Donna, did you get your answer? How do you correct? And Donna, since you're a graduate of my workshop, go back into the modules. All of the answers are there for you so that you can get tuned up for Thursday. Yeah, so I'm just checking out all the comments. Please feel free, ladies, to throw me another comment. I just gave you, like, I don't know, 10 years of the law of attraction concepts and ideas in this short period of time. Why? Because I knew you could handle it. Yes, I knew you could. If you've been following my work, you know that I am a huge proponent on your soul coming back to life before we tackle resume, career strategy, interviewing, etc. Your soul has got to come back to life. It must be the dominant attractor pattern of the beautiful version of you, the powerful, smart, capable, committed, dedicated. All of those things about you are residing in the better parts of who you are, which is your soul. The better parts of you are not your physical brain and your physical body. Even if you have a wonderful physical body and a really smart brain, your soul is so much better than that. Your soul is the most beautiful, delightful, awesome aspect of who you are. And it's been pushed down, shoved down, scarred, tarred, feathered, all sorts of horrible things by all these human beings that you've interacted with. And here's the thing, you've given them permission to do that. Now, when you were little, you didn't really give them permission. It was just kind of the way it was. But as you've gotten older, you've given people permission to continue to do that because you have not moved into a better feeling state. You've not moved into a higher version of you because you've continued the patterns. You probably didn't know that there was a solution or something different that you could be doing to turn the tide differently for you. You didn't know that until you met me. Or maybe you read a book and the book, like, oh, that makes sense. But then no one taught you how to implement the book until you met me. So for those of you who are not familiar with my work, who are not my clients, and blessings to all the ladies here who show up regularly to hear my inspiration for the week. If we have not worked together and your career is underperforming and you don't really feel great inside, let's get honest. Let's get clear. Book a career clarity call. We can find out what's really going on. And what I really also want to do is find out what you really want to do, because you've got a beautiful vision of who you can be inside of you. And I want to help you magnify that. Because if the place where you're at doesn't feel good, it's because there's a gap in the expectations of your soul and where you're at now. That gap of expectations, your soul is like yearning. Help me get out. Help me succeed. Help me shine. Help me to make the contribution I want to make. Help me, your soul says. And when you don't answer, car accidents, bodily issues, breast cancer, all sorts of things, gallbladder attacks. I've had quite a laundry list in my life of the things that my body was jamming on to get my attention. Hey, pay attention to some of this poison that's going on inside of your thought, feeling, energy, Mo. Take a break and heal yourself. I'm going to give you some breast cancer so that you don't have a choice, because this last 46 years, you've been choosing not to pay attention to it. You've been choosing to work hard over top of it, and it hasn't worked out. That was me. I worked my butt off. I achieved, but underneath it, there was this thing going on. Not worthy. No one's seeing me. How about that promotion I didn't get? How about the pay raise? How about the boss that didn't really notice how awesome I was? And it felt crappy to not be recognized for all the hard work and the outcomes and the results. I had great results in my career. Every single job I had, great results, like fantastic. But something was missing with how I was being recognized, appreciated, and moved up. Something was missing. And the jobs where I really got that next punch of compensation and title, they were new jobs. They were me exerting myself in the world for something outside of where I was because I wasn't getting it where I was currently employed. I had about 12 or 13 different jobs in my illustrious career, starting as a cardiac nurse at the University of Pittsburgh Hospital. I've been a registered nurse for 36 years in the state of Pennsylvania, in the state of Florida. And my career trajectory just kept going up because I knew there was something more for me. And I kept striving and going for it. My soul was begging me to expand and to be bigger. And in the superficial world, we see that as ambition. Why are you so ambitious? Why do you always want to be more successful? Why do you always want a new job? Why do you always want to make more money? I don't know. It just was the inner urging, the inner yearning for more. Every one of us are born with that inner yearning for more. Every single human being is on this planet to expand. So your soul has a mission for more. So if you're not mooring, yes, I just made up a word. If you're not going for more, if you're not doing more, if you're not expanding, your soul is not consistent and congruent with its mission. You've got to be more. Constant expansion and growth. And when you are, you're going to feel freaking fantastic. Right, Debbie? Right, Paula? When you're on that path for more you, a higher version of you, and you're growing, and your expectations are that you're going to continue to grow, and you're being appreciated and seen for how awesome you are, that feels freaking awesome. And nothing makes me happier than to get the post in the Facebook group, I got the job. And there's such a happy soul under there of being appreciated, recognized, and seen. And then we get that money going at the right level and feels freaking awesome and great. Everything clicks in and it's congruent. Congruent with your power. Your soul has power. Don't let it die. Because if your soul's power is not opened up, you will feel crappy. You will be attracting crap. If your soul is shut down and depleted, you will feel that the world is giving you more shut down and more depleted. That's what happens. It's the universal law. I don't make it up. I just figured out how to leverage my clients and their souls upward for a higher version of who they are to claim their truth as soulful, powerful beings on this planet. And when you do that, when you turn your soul back up and you resurrect it, you will have an amazing result in the outside world because your attractor pattern shifts tremendously. So it is not by mistake that better jobs, better pay, more happiness, new houses, new cars, better vacations, better relationships with kids and spouses. You cannot stop that. If you bring your soul's vibration up and you take care of your junk and you start living, vibing at a high place, congruent, you can't stop the good stuff coming. It's going to come. It's going to be there for you. Yeah, that's how it works. That's the law of attraction. That's how it goes. That's how our Creator, our divine, loving God Creator, put this universe together like that. Now that we have science to understand it, we still can't outthink God. We still can't outthink the divine loveliness of what is in store for us. So often I say to my clients, you got to suspend disbelief because you can't outthink that. No way in the world. I don't care what your IQ is. I don't care how many MBAs or PhDs you have. You cannot outthink the Creator. Nope. You can't think greater than the creative, beautiful, infinite intelligence that has made this world and put it together this way. Can't do it. Donna O'Toole, that voice is there doubting you because that voice has been there for your entire life doubting you. Freaking go for it. Cure the voice. Take care of the voice. It's trying to tell you something. Maybe it's telling you to pay attention to something. Maybe it's telling you to pay attention to a negative pattern that's kind of looking to make its way out, worm its way through. Pull it out. Listen. Listen. Inside. Listen. That's what meditation is all about. Meditation is paying attention to the inner world. Prayer is pushing stuff out. Totally different vehicle. I'm not saying don't pray, but if you don't listen, you're not going to get it. So you got to meditate. You got to slow your ass down. You got to calm the body down. You got to shut the thinking process down a bit. You've got to open yourself to feeling. You've got to open yourself to your awesomeness. And when you turn that up, you're going to have some junk, and you're going to have tears, and you're going to want to go into your journal, and you're going to want to feel the feelings that are coming up. Don't push them back down. They're looking to come up. They're looking to come up and be looked at. They're coming up to be seen. They're coming up to be paid attention to. They're coming up to then be let go. So if your attractor pattern is not serving you, if your life does not look like what you want it to look like, you got some stuff to take care of. I can help you with that in my workshop. If it's showing up in your career, I got you covered. It might be showing up in your relationship too. I got friends for that. I got coaches who take care of people's relationship issues, people who take care of people's eating disorder issues, etc. We all have the out picturing of what's not working, and we got to solve it. We got to fix it. It's inside. The answer, inside. The answer, inside. The answer, inside. You getting the point? Okay, so this Motivational Monday, let's wrap this up. Law of attraction, the law of the universe, the law of the quantum universe. Don't get it confused with the laws of the Newtonian physical world. Two different planes of existence. We get the Newtonian world. The Newtonian world is, I drop the bottle, it falls down. Gravity, cause and effect. I can move things in the physical world. I know how the physical world is going to act because it's predictable on mathematical equations. Okay? The quantum world, the energetic world, is not linear. It's quantum. You can't think about it. There's complex mathematical equations that are not even solved yet that try to describe the quantum world. But I will tell you this, it's all on an attractor pattern, and you can move wave and particle energy with your attractor pattern. And that's what you're doing every single day. Every minute that you're alive, even while you're sleeping, you are moving the energy of the universe from your emissions of your thought, feeling energy. So if you have a restless night, if you're kicking and moving and anxious and worried all night, you are adding to that attractor pattern, sister. Shut it down by meditating. Open your eyes, put on a YouTube meditation or insight timer or some calm music, and breathe deeply and slow your body down and slow your brain down and change your attractor pattern. Get up and get some green tea. Do something to change a negative attractor pattern. We have techniques for this in our workshop. Those of you ladies who have been in the workshop, it's module 1.5. And let's go for it. Coaching will help you with the issues. I don't know where I'd be without it. Thank you so much, Paula. And you're such a great, great, coachable, beautiful soul. I want you to knock yourself up. You know you're ready to do that. I listen to everyone but me. Not great at calm, LOL. Huh? Well, Donna, it's not really LOL. You got to change the story. You might not be great at it. That's okay. New things, sometimes we're not great at. But dive in and fix it. Dive in and get good at it. Commit to yourself that you're going to do that, because if you want your life to change, you have to do that. It's an essential ingredient in moving your energetic world and solving an attractor pattern that doesn't feel good and that's not working for you. Get yourself vibing up here. and get yourself thinking and feeling up here. That's congruency, and that will change your life forever. All right, folks, this week, make yourself some commitments. If you're not meditating, start meditating. Easy apps on phones. Don't even need anything on a phone. You just need breath work. Go on YouTube and learn diaphragmatic breathing. Get yourself going. If you need to fix your entire career, end your life, and you want to do it, and you're super committed, and you want to have a conversation about that, book your career clarity call. So many of the ladies here, thank you ladies for showing up for Motivational Monday, have been through my workshop, and their lives are different. Their lives are completely changed. And yes, they're not done. They're going to continue to grow and expand and have better experiences and continue to work on their attractor pattern and move their stuff out. That's what we do all the time by meditating. We move the stuff out that's holding us back. Your attractor pattern tells you a lot about where your consciousness is. Take a look at it. If we can do something to help you with it, we will discuss that on the career clarity call. Book your career clarity call if your career is not performing for you. Let's do some simple math. If you're $30,000 underpaid for the last 10 years, you've just wasted $300,000. Don't do that again. Don't do that again. Notch it up. Let's get the career taken care of. We will take care of your soul at the same time. I guarantee you, we will take care of both of these pieces at the same time. We'll take care of you. We'll move you up. We'll move you to your higher version of you. And that's the guarantee that your attractor pattern will be at a higher level as well. That's the way it works. This is Coach Mo. You can find me at mofaul.com. That's MOFAUL.com. Everywhere on the internet and the World Wide Web and LinkedIn, Coach Mo Faul. Find me and find inspiration. If you want to change your life and your career, you're going to have to do the work, and we'll make sure it's a lot of fun. Check you out next time. Have a great weekend. A great week in front of you. This is your coach for Motivational Monday, Coach Mo. See you next time.